America has a cost of living crisis. Have you noticed it? Amazon and their hazardous products. We're going to get into this. You got to be on the lookout because, they're just shipping stuff to you. They don't really care where it came from. And last but not least, the job market, quote, cools, end quote. We'll talk about that as well. This is the Foundation Current Events for July 30th, 2024. I am Sot L, Seeker of Truth L, Speaker of Truth L. And, as always, we're going to do our dance. Appreciate y'all checking out the current events. Let's jump into this. Please do us a favor. Check out welcometothefoundation.com. We have a plethora of information available. You can make a donation. You can book a consultation. You can check out our broadcasts. We got a bunch of free documents available. You can find our social media, blah, blah, right there. Also, and most importantly, you can sign up for the email list. And this boxeroo right here, that's where you do. Also, we have the most comprehensive trust administration training available. Long story short, you're looking for private trust training, administration. You want to learn how to create them. You don't want to depend on anyone. You can teach your children, your heirs. You want to protect your assets. You want to legally avoid taxes, litigation, probate, get estate taxes, death taxes, so on and so forth. I'm not a lawyer. I can't give legal advice, but I can tell you that this is real. It's absolutely real. Been doing the dance for a minute. We would like to help you out as well. Link in the description of this video to sign up for Trustee training. We have our silver tier dance. It's the most affordable dance we're doing. Check it out. Also, if you've been looking to start your business, didn't really know how, didn't think you had the qualifications, this course is for you. How to start a business. We go into it from start to finish, from establishing it, getting your business plan together at your own pace. No tests, no quizzes, no ridicule, but we help you get it done. We're here to help and answer questions as well. Link in the description if you're interested in that. And last but not least, the Foundation magazine is most luxurious. We have the current edition for, I think July is going out this week. So y'all be on the lookout for that. Link in the description if you would like to sign up for the Foundation magazine. We touch on a lot of stuff that we don't touch on in the shows on Wednesdays. So y'all go ahead and sign up. We have a digital subscription as well as a print edition subscription. Completely up to you. Link in the description. And we appreciate everyone who, supports the foundation and supports yourself. We appreciate you investing in your private education. That's really what it's about. But let's jump into these current events, y'all. The share of young adults living with parents is the highest since 1940. Wow, in 1970, just 7% of 25 to 35-year-olds lived with their parents. But as of 2022, that share has more than doubled to 17%. Another way of thinking about this trend is to make a comparison across generational cohorts. The chart below shows the percentage of adults who live with the parents at each age from 25 to 35 broken out by generation. As expected, we see living with parents become less common with age, i.e., it's more likely at age 25 than at age 35. More importantly, we also see the curves gradually shift up for each consecutive generation as living with parents has become increasingly common over the course of the past half century. Look, let's check this out. Look, wow. This can't be right. This can't be life. It is life. The cost of living crisis takes a toll on sales of food, cars, and luxury items. I would say food is a necessity, right? A global, consumer backtrack from post-pandemic revenge spending is starting to hit companies' top and bottom lines. from food producers to airlines, automakers to luxury houses. Evidence of the impact is piling up. Whether it's U.S. grocery shoppers tapped out after a period of punishing inflation or wealthy Chinese customers postponing their next splurge, the effects are rippling across the corporate landscape. Nestle, the world's biggest food company, cut its revenue outlook for the year, while Unilever PLC reported sales that missed estimates, and Jeep owner Stellantis NV posted a plunge in profit a day before U.S. appliance maker Whirlpool Corporation lowered its earning forecast. Quote, there is value-seeking behavior among consumers, end quote. Basically, we ain't got the money. Quote, we're seeing continued pressure, and I think that's consistent with what some other companies in the consumer goods sector are reporting, end quote. A cost of living crisis has taken its toll on shoppers who've traded down to cheaper brands, and consumer giants have struggled to coax them back. Around 80% of U.S. shoppers are reducing grocery spending, according to a recent poll of 1,000 people who broadly represent the U.S. demographic, by saving.com, a website that offers coupons, man. The number of available jobs in the U.S. is shrinking, CNN Business. That's not good. I wonder why people are looking or seeking out deals. Job opportunities are slowly disappearing in the U.S., and hiring has screeched to its slowest pace in a decade. This is aside from the panorama where they made people go home. That's making more workers hold tight to the job they've already have. The good news, those jobs don't appear to be nearing the chopping block. Well, we'll see about that. That's according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics' latest job openings and labor turnover survey, which showed that the number of open positions edged back slightly in June. Hiring activity sank, layoffs were muted, and the number of people quitting their jobs hit a 3-year low. This is according to data released today. It's yet another sign that the once scalding hot labor market is not just settling into a steadier state, but potentially drifting closer toward downsizing. Downsizing, downswinging, down everything. I say downsizing. And then with that, you have this, a $1 million starter home. It's the norm in 237 cities. Imagine shopping for your first home, and they're talking about, yeah, man, so when can we get that $1 million? The number of cities with $1 million starter homes has nearly tripled since 2019. What? The number has grown from 84 5 years ago to 237 today. The typical starter home, defined for this analysis as being among those in the lowest third of home values in a given region, is worth at least $1 million in 237 cities. This is the highest number of cities ever. Nationwide, the typical starter home is worth $196,611, which is comfortably affordable for a median income household, but a housing shortage that worsened over the panorama helped drive the cost of all homes to new heights. Starter homes values have grown 54.1% over the past 5 years. And you're trying to tell me that there's no inflation. Inflation is cooling. Yeah, all right. That is amazing. Even more than the 49.1% increase for the typical U.S. home in the same time frame. That has delayed the first home purchase for many. The median age of the first-time home buyer was 35 last year, a year older than in 2019. Quote, home buyers are battling affordability and availability today, so much so that a $1 million home is the norm for starters in hundreds of cities. This is Orphy Devongai, a senior economist at Zillow. Devongai, that sounds louse. Quote, however, it's looking more and more like there will be some good news ahead for first time buyers. More homes are for sale, price cuts are on the rise, and buyers have a few more days to weigh their options as homes sit on the market. End quote. We'll see. As I said, you have a lot of real estate investment trusts and corporations that are buying single family homes at this point. America's smallest apartments are getting even smaller. This is not good. And then I believe there's a certain element of, the population that is shaming people because they can't afford to move out of their parents' home. And why would you? Because, if you have a small apartment, and you're paying $2,000 for a small apartment, it would be incentivizing, to stay at home longer, save up your money, and buy a house, buy a home. But that's even more difficult. Job quitting falls to nearly 4-year low, and job openings dip in a sign labor market is cooling. The labor market's cooling, y'all. The numbers, job openings in the U.S. dipped again in June, and the number of people quitting fell to nearly a 4-year low as the labor market continued to cool, paving the way for the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates soon. Basically, they're trying to battle inflation by disallowing people to buy stuff. So if you can't afford it, then the prices have to come down. And then they say, hey, we won, but look at the millions of people that don't have jobs. Look at the millions of people that can't afford homes. Look at the millions of people that can't afford to eat. It's getting really bad. And these companies, they're laying off people. New openings have fallen gradually from a record 12 million in 2022. Lots of jobs are still available and plenty of companies are looking for help, but the labor market has clearly cooled off after a torrid burst of hiring once the panorama faded. Yeah, okay. I like how they frame this stuff. Although many openings are never actually filled, they told the truth. The trend in job postings provides clues about the health of the labor market and the broader economy. So at least they told the truth. There's a lot of job postings, that are never filled. But there's a lot of job openings, but if you apply for the job, can you get it? Will it be filled? Stellantis offers buyouts to half of its salaried U.S. staff. The European automaker, we spoke about them earlier, which builds cars for the U.S. market under the Jeep, Ram, Dodge, and Chrysler brands, said the offers would be made to all salaried staff with 5 years or more of seniority at the company. That comes to 6,400 of the 12,700 non-union staff. Quote, as the U.S. automotive industry continues to face challenging market conditions, the U.S. consumers aren't buying cars anymore. Stellantis is taking the necessary structural actions to protect our operations and the company. We're going to fire half of our people so the company can still afford to stay afloat. As we prepare for the transition to electric vehicles, Stellantis announced today that it will offer a voluntary separation package to assist those non-represented employees who would like to separate or retire from the company to pursue their other interests with a favorable package of benefits. It's bad when people in other countries are getting laid off due to the American economy slowing down. The American economy going into a recession. It's bad. Oops. Let's move forward. It's not just Big Macs. Consumers are ditching Johnny Walker whiskey and Casamigos tequila. Diego, man, I'd be trying, y'all. One of the world's biggest drink makers has reported its first drop in sales since the panorama as cash-strapped consumers cut back on spending, which is crazy because usually when people are, having money issues, maybe they're a little depressed or for real depressed, alcohol sales traditionally increase. So this really means that people are really broke. The maker of Johnny Walker whiskey is risky drinking that stuff. Casamigos Tequila and Guinness Beer is the latest consumer business to report a hit in sales as inflation and high interest rates take a bite out of household budgets. On Monday, McDonald's said global sales fell for the first time since 2020. That's the pandemic, as fewer customers visited the fast food chain's restaurants. That followed similar reports from Starbucks, Burger King, and Wendy's. Quote, the consumer environment continues to be challenging. Consumers remain cautious, and interest rates are high. Therefore, retailers are likely to remain cautious too. Are you cautious? I'm cautious. I don't know if it's caution or just lack of ability. German economy unexpectedly shrinks. Inflation ticks higher. It's not just in the U.S., although the U.S. is, predicating a lot of this stuff that's happening in these other countries due to, I would say the SWIFT system and the interdependence and interrelation of all these Western currencies, I'll say. But the German economy unexpectedly contracted in the second quarter after skirting a recession at the beginning of the year, and July's inflation rose, showing the continuing struggles of the Eurozone's biggest economy. Germany's GDP contracted by 0.1% in the second quarter compared with the previous 3-month period. Preliminary data from the statistics office showed yesterday. Was that yesterday? What's today? Is today Tuesday? What's tomorrow? What's the day? Tomorrow? Analysts posed by Reuters had forecast a 0.1% or 0.1% quarter-on-quarter increase in adjusted terms, following a 0.2% economic growth in the first quarter. So they expected them to gain as much as they lost. That's not good. You gotta look for your health. NBC, Boar's Head recalls more than 207,000 pounds of meat due to listeria concerns. A sample of Boar's Head liverwurst was found to be contaminated with listeria bacteria. It's a multi-state outbreak, including liverwurst and ham products. You shouldn't be eating that stuff, y'all, because they may contain the bacteria listeria monocytogenes, man. The company initiated the recall after liverwurst at a store in Maryland tested positive for listeria. The sample was collected as part of an investigation into a multi-state listeria outbreak that had sickened 34 people across 13 states as of last Thursday. All but one of those people were hospitalized and 2 died, y'all. A patient in Illinois and another in New Jersey. Health authorities say the outbreak is most likely linked to sliced meat sold at deli counters, as many of those affected reporting eating items like turkey, liverwurst, or ham. The U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food Safety and Inspection Service, which announced the recall Friday, said further testing is ongoing to determine if the Maryland sample is connected to the outbreak. Y'all check your stuff. The recall includes Boar's Head ready-to-eat liverwurst produced from June 11th to July 17th, as well as other deli meat products that were manufactured on the same machinery around the same time, such as beef, salami, bologna, and ham. Oh, man, y'all, oof. Yeah, And to all y'all vegans, vegetables and herbs sold at Walmart and Aldi recalled due to possible listeria contamination. They putting this stuff on everything and just shipping it on trucks, y'all. More than a dozen vegetables, including peppers, cucumbers, and squash, have been recalled due to possible contamination with listeria, y'all. Listeria. The recall affects produce sold at select Walmart and Aldi stores, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration said in a news release yesterday. It is an expansion of the Weir's Farm July 12th recall The original recall was for a limited number of whole cucumbers and bagged solid cucumbers. The product was not grown or harvested by Weir's farm, but was, quote, handled and distributed by the company, the FDA said. Retail packaged items such as poblanos, cubanelas, green beans, organic bell peppers. Oh, they got us. They got us organic eaters. Serranos, jalapenos, and squash are included in the expanded recall. According to the updated news release, the items were sold at Aldi and Walmart locations in states including Delaware, Ohio, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, New York, West Virginia, and Connecticut. The full list can be viewed if you click on this link, but I got to go to this site. Quote, Aldi puts the safety in. Yeah. The East Coast, they trying to hit y'all with listeria, y'all. U.S. boosts alliance with the Philippines with $500 million funding the pact amid concern over China. This positioning behind these countries with regards to China, y'all, pay attention. You know, I'm not really... War is war. People dying is people dying. It's all bad, you know, especially if they don't have a chance to live their life like children and stuff, man. It's all bad. But, you know, at the end of the day, there's a lot of different conflicts going on, and a lot of people are looking in a lot of different ways. I am focusing on this stuff with China, y'all. And, you know, Russia is like, okay, yeah, whatever. Russia's like the gas station. You know, China's like the getaway driver that has to go to the gas station to get away and to keep it moving. Like, literally, they need, you know, Russian oil, likely. I mean, what do I know? Am I a geopolitical scientist? I'm not. I'm just some dude chilling. And I probably am crazy. And I can never give legal advice. But this is something that I'm heavily focused on. Moving forward, what is this? What we got here? Amazon is responsible for hazardous items sold by third-party sellers. Hazardous. Amazon, under federal safety law, is responsible for hazardous products sold on its platform by third-party sellers and shipped by the company. A U.S. government agency ordered today in a unanimous vote. The Consumer Product Safety Commission said it determined that the e-commerce company was a distributor of faulty items sold on its site and packed and shipped through its fulfillment service. That means the company is on the hook legally for recalls of more than 400,000 products, including hair dryers and defective carbon monoxide detectors, man. The agency said it ordered Amazon to come up with a system for notifying customers who purchase faulty items and to remove the products from circulation by offering incentives for their return or destruction. So basically, you got to pay customers to send it back. Amazon said it planned to appeal the decision. Amazon accounts for roughly 40% of e-commerce sales in the U.S., according to the market research firm eMarketer. The company sells items directly to consumers and also partners with nearly 2 million third-party resellers who drive the majority of sales on the platform. The online retailer has fought the distributor label since 2021 when it was sued by the Consumer Product Safety Commission for allegedly distributing hazardous items. Man, be careful, y'all. Careful. Tesla owners, y'all be careful too. Tesla recalls 1.8 million vehicles over unlatched hood issue. I'm going to tell you something. Listen, a hood is a problem. Like, I had a car, certain kind of car when I was younger, heavily modified. A friend of mine wanted to see some of the modifications. He, looked under the hood. It was my fault. I'm going to just be honest. This is my fault because I didn't double check to make sure that he latched the hood. I was driving with my son, man, and on the freeway, and the hood just flew open. Couldn't see anything. Luckily, I didn't panic, right? But at first, I was very, very, very confused, But, just pulled off to the side of the road. But this is something that, people can panic. It can be a problem. Tesla has issued a recall for more than 1.8 million vehicles after it received reports that the hoods on some were unintentionally popping open. According to a document filed with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Tesla said in March that it began to look into reports from drivers in China about what it called, quote, unintended hood opening events, end quote. Subsequent company investigations revealed the presence of deformed hood latch switches an issue that it said, quote, could prevent the customer from being notified of an open hood state, end quote. Further studies led the company to issue a voluntary recall of affected vehicles out of an abundance of caution. No injuries or deaths have been reported as a result of the issue, Tesla said, and only 1% of vehicles are likely to suffer from the defect. Y'all be careful when you're on the road. Be careful when you're shopping. Be careful when you're buying stuff. Be careful when you're eating food. Be careful when you're buying stuff on Amazon. Stay informed. It's because, it's real out here. Don't believe everything you hear. I feel as though these news outlets and stuff, they're trying to tell you what you need to know. Every time I'm looking at news articles or I'm listening to a news anchor, they're saying what you need to know, the things you need to know. And I don't know, maybe if I'm just, anti-authority or whatever, I just don't really appreciate people telling me what I need to know. Maybe there's other things that I need to know. How do you know what I need to know? I could need to know some other things. That's all for my rant, y'all. 100%. Y'all enjoy yourself. Have a great day. Take care of yourself. Make sure you say 10 things that you're thankful for before you go to sleep tonight and every night. It's very important. And I'll catch y'all tomorrow on the Foundation Show. We doing the show tomorrow, y'all. Peace.